This next video, we're going to be continuing with transformations, but this time we're going to be analyzing graphs and trying to match graphs to a transformation. I'm also going to throw in there some practice with writing equations given the transformations as well. So we look at number 1. It says the graph is translated 3 units, right 3 units, vertically stretched by a factor of 4, reflected across the x and translated down 2. I'm going to go ahead and just write the equation based on what they said. It's not asking to do this, but I want to practice it. So I'm going to set it up with an x in parentheses, a squared on the outside, and we're going to fill in the remaining parts of those transformations. So it says it's translated right 3. That goes in the parentheses. So right 3 would make it go minus 3 in parentheses. Then it's vertically stretched by a factor of 4. That's my a. It's reflected across the x. That means this is a negative. And then it's translated down 2. That's my k that goes at the end. So this would be the equation for this one. We can tell several things from that. We know the graph's going to be going initially down 4 units, right? 1. We can also tell that the vertex is at 3, negative 2. So there's just different things you can see there. Question 2 says the graph is translated right 2 units. So I'm going to set up my equation. And then it's translated to the right 2 units. That goes in the parentheses. And remember we said right was minus. It's reflected across the x, so it's going to be a negative equation. And it's translated down 4. So I'm going to have a minus 4 at the end. On this next one, it says it's translated left 1 unit. That goes in parentheses. Left is plus. It's compressed by a factor of 2. That means our a, since it's compressed, is actually going to be a fraction. So instead of having a 2 in front, I'm going to have a 1/2. And then it's translated up 2 units, so you would add 2 at the end. On question 4, it says the graph is translated left 3, so that would be plus 3 in parentheses. It's stretched by a factor of 2, so there's a 2 for my a. And it's translated up 2, so there would also be a plus 2 at the end. Now let's try to match the graphs that go with these. I'm also going to analyze the graphs just so we can practice doing that as well. So if we look at graph A, I'm going to look at how the vertex changed from the origin, because the graph of x squared would have started at the origin. So this one's actually moving to the right 2 units. And then it moves down 4. And then if you notice, this one's facing downwards. So since it's facing downwards, there's also a reflection. So let me try to see which one matches that. So right 2, down 4. And a reflection. This looks like number 2 in the descriptions. So question 2 would match A. Let's go ahead and look at graph B. So on graph B, I'm going to start by locating how they got to the vertex. Here you can see they move left 1. And then they move up 2. This one doesn't have a reflection, but let's just try to look at the A as well. If you look, when this one goes across 1, like to the right one, it's only moved up 1/2. So since it's only moved up 1/2, the A is 1/2 for this one. Or you could also say that's a compression by 2. This one matches description number 3. Because we know left 1 would be plus, up 2 would also be plus. Let's look at the next graph, graph C. And again, I'm going to focus on the vertex, how they got there. This one's going to move left 3. And then it moves up 2. And then if I look at my A, when this one goes to the right 1, it ends up 2 units higher. So my A here is 2, which means it's a stretch. So left 3, up 2, and a stretch. This one looks like description number 4. Let's look at the last graph, graph D. So if I concentrate on my vertex here, it's moving right 3. It moves down 2. Then if we look at our A value, when this one goes to the right 1 unit, it's actually gone down 4. So my A here is -4, which means there's going to be a reflection because it's negative. And then since it's 4, that's going to be a stretch. So this one's right 3, down 2, there's a reflection and a stretch. Right 3, down 2, reflection, stretch. That matches description number 1. So there's different ways you could do this. You could have also matched the graph by looking at the equations we wrote, because those have the A values as well. So there's just different ways. Don't forget, if it's in parentheses, that's left or right. Left is plus, right is minus. Don't forget, if there's a negative in front, that's a reflection over the x-axis. When you're doing your stretches, you keep the number the same. If it's a compression, it's 1 over that number that it's compressed by for the A.